Is it better to buy or rent? Well, Bank of America's Home Buyers Insights report for 2026 is in, and that's an insights report that they got from polling people through April and May, and 53% are saying that it's better to buy than to rent despite higher rates and higher cost and affordability issues. So they're looking at it from a buy versus rent standpoint, knowing that in many markets, rent is actually cheaper than what the mortgage payment would be, depending on your down payment. And they're still saying buying is better for longevity, for having a place that you call your own, for just growing in your life overall. Now, what's interesting about these numbers is a few things. Home ownership throughout the country is nearly 70%. In the Las Vegas market specifically, it's about 60%. We are a more transient market, so our numbers aren't quite as high. So knowing that 53% believe that it's better to buy than to rent is not too far off from what those home ownership numbers actually are. And this was a survey that included a lot of renters at the current moment that were still saying that it's better to buy. So that means there are a lot of people that still want to buy. Now, in addition, the number of people that expect rates and prices to fall has actually gone down over recent months. So there's a lot of people that are settled into the fact that rates are somewhat stable right now, and they'll fluctuate up and down a little bit, but we're not expecting any sort of big change down. As a matter of fact, Bank of America also is predicting that we're going to have 3 Fed rate increases, which may or may not impact the mortgage rates exactly. If it's anticipated, it's already built into a lot of the bond yields and therefore the mortgage rates, because there's a correlation, but they're not directly related. And again, when it comes to actual prices, most people realize that the longest time we were ever in a bit of a kind of deep housing rut was after the Great Recession, right? 2008. And from 2008 to 2011, we were going down, down, down. We hit our bottom, and then we started back up. That was a little over a 3-year run. We're now from May of 2022, when the rates started to spike. June of 2022, they hit a pretty good number. Now we're 4 years later. This is about the longest we've actually been in a somewhat depressed market, and yet the prices have barely been affected. There are some markets that it has. In our market, it dipped a bit and then came right back up, and we're now at record prices again, though we're not shooting up like a hockey stick. They're fairly stable. So when it comes to affordability, are prices going to come down to actually match that? Or is it going to be more of a wages will start to catch up faster, and the lines will diverge a little bit? Instead of housing going up like this and wages going up like this, maybe wages start going up like this and housing kind of stays a little more plateaued in order for things to catch up and normalize again. So again, the fact that there are less people that believe that rates and prices are going to go down is just